Across Egypt, the frozen north, India, Mesoamerica, and China, this serpent shifts shape: monster, guardian, creator, destroyer, teacher, god. Different cultures, different eras, different worlds. And yet, the same ancient form returns again and again. Why? Anthropologists have tried to explain it. Some say the serpent represents danger, a primal fear buried deep in our biology. Others say it symbolizes rebirth, the shedding of skin, the illusion of immortality. But these answers feel too small for a symbol that spans continents and millennia. Because the serpent is not just an animal. It is an archetype, a shape that lives in the human mind. Older than language, older than myth, older than civilization itself. When early humans looked into the darkness, they saw patterns. Curves, loops, coils, the shapes of rivers, storms, lightning, roots, and the spiral of the stars. The serpent became the embodiment of these forces, the living shape of nature's power. But there is a deeper layer. Across cultures, the serpent represents duality, life and death, creation and destruction, order and chaos, earth and sky, the beginning and the end. It is the only creature that can embody all opposites at once. It crawls on the ground yet rises like a wave. It kills yet renews. It hides yet reveals. It dies yet returns. The serpent is the cycle of existence itself. And perhaps that is why every civilization imagined it. Not because they copied one another, but because they were all trying to describe the same truth. A truth older than humanity. A truth written into the world, the stars, and even our own biology. But the greatest mystery is still ahead. Because in the next part of our journey, we explore a theory that suggests the serpent is not just myth, but memory? A memory carried inside every living being. The first serpent is almost ready to reveal what it truly is. Across the ancient world, the serpent appears as creator, destroyer, guardian, teacher, and cosmic force. But in the modern era, a new idea emerged, one that suggests the serpent is not just myth, but memory? In the 1990s, anthropologist Jeremy Narby proposed a radical theory. He noticed that shamans from cultures with no contact, Amazonian, African, Asian all described visions of glowing serpents during deep trance states. Twin serpents, intertwined, moving like living strands of light. Narby compared these descriptions to something science had only recently mapped. DNA, two serpents coiled around each other in a double helix, the blueprint of life. He suggested that ancient humans, through altered states, may have perceived this structure symbolically long before science discovered it, not literally, but intuitively, as a shape that felt fundamental, universal, and alive. If true, the serpent is not just a mythic symbol. It is a biological one, a memory carried inside every living being. But the theory goes deeper. Across cultures, the serpent represents duality, creation, and destruction, life and death, order and chaos. DNA carries the same duality. It creates life, but mutations can destroy it. It preserves memory yet constantly changes. It is stable yet endlessly evolving. The serpent also represents cycles, shedding skin, rebirth, renewal. DNA is cyclical too, replicating itself across generations, carrying ancient information forward through time. And then there is the cosmic connection. When early astronomers mapped the night sky, they found a constellation stretching across the heavens, Hydra, the celestial serpent, a shape written into the stars themselves. The serpent appears in myth, biology, and the cosmos. Three domains that should have nothing in common, yet share the same ancient symbol. Is this coincidence? Pattern recognition? Or something deeper, a universal shape woven into reality? The cosmic serpent theory does not claim certainty. It simply asks a question. Why does the serpent appear everywhere? In our myths, in our bodies, in our sky? And if the serpent is a memory, what exactly are we remembering? In the next part of our journey, we follow the serpent into the stars, where the oldest myth of all awaits. The first serpent is almost ready to reveal its final form. When ancient humans looked up at the night sky, they saw stories written in starlight, heroes, monsters, gods, and among them, stretching farther than any other constellation, they saw a serpent, Hydra, the celestial serpent, the longest constellation in the heavens. It coils across the sky like a cosmic river, winding through darkness, connecting stars that have burned for millions of years. To early astronomers, Hydra wasn't just a pattern, it was a reminder, a symbol that the serpent existed not only in myth, not only in the earth, not only in the human mind, but in the universe itself. Across cultures, sky serpents appear again and again. In China, dragons dance among the clouds. In Mesoamerica, Quetzalcoatl rises with the morning star. In the Norse world, Jormungandr lies beneath the ocean, but its presence echoes in the arc of the Milky Way. In Egypt, Apep lurks in the darkness beyond the sun's path. Different civilizations, different skies, different stories, yet the same cosmic shape. Why? Because the serpent is the perfect symbol for the cosmos, a shape that bends, curves, coils, and loops, like the structure of galaxies, the path of comets, the flow of celestial bodies. The universe itself moves like a serpent. Ancient stargazers believed the heavens were alive, a breathing, shifting tapestry, and the serpent, stretching across the sky, became the spine of that cosmic body, a reminder that creation is vast, mysterious, and interconnected. But there is a deeper truth hidden in the stars. The serpent's shape mirrors the cycles of the cosmos, the orbit of planets, the spiral of galaxies, the looping paths of celestial bodies. It is the geometry of existence, and perhaps that is why the serpent appears everywhere in myth, in biology, in the sky. It is a universal pattern, a shape woven into reality itself. As we approach the final part of our journey, we return to the beginning, to the question that started it all. What is the first serpent? A myth? A memory? A symbol? Or something far older and far more real? The truth waits in the final chapter. Across the ancient world, the serpent appears in myth, in biology, and in the stars, a shape that repeats across civilizations, across time, across the very structure of existence. And now, at the end of our journey, we return to the beginning, to the question that has followed us through every chapter. What is the first serpent? To answer this, we must step beyond myth and symbol, and into the oldest idea humanity ever imagined, the moment before creation. In many cultures, creation does not begin with light, or gods, or order. It begins with chaos, a dark, infinite ocean, a void without form. And within that void, something stirs, something coils, something waits. The serpent, not as an animal, not as a monster, but as the first shape, the curve, the loop, the spiral, the cycle, the geometry of existence before existence begins. In Egypt, Apep rises from the primordial waters. In India, Ananta floats upon the cosmic ocean. In the Norse world, Jormungandr encircles creation. In Mesoamerica, Quetzalcoatl shapes the world. In China, the dragon brings balance to heaven and earth. Different names, different stories, different worlds, yet the same ancient form. The serpent is the first god, not because it rules or speaks or commands, but because it represents the oldest truth, that creation is cyclical, that existence is a loop, that everything begins, ends, and begins again. The serpent is the shape of time, the shape of DNA, the shape of galaxies, the shape of myth, the shape of memory. It is the pattern that repeats across the universe, from the smallest cell to the largest constellation. And perhaps that is why humanity remembered it. Not through stories alone, but through intuition, instinct, and the quiet echo of something older than thought. The first serpent is not a creature. It is not a deity. It is not a myth. It is a symbol of the universe itself, the endless cycle of creation and destruction, the spiral of life, the curve of the cosmos. The serpent is the first god because it is the first pattern, the first memory, the first truth. And as we close this chapter of the ancient archives, one final whisper remains. The serpent is not watching us. It is within us, in our stories, in our bodies, in our sky, in the very structure of reality. The first serpent was never outside. It was always here,